That sounds so pretty. Here in the Metro Detroit area, yesterday we got a little tease with the weather, and I love the jazz, but it always makes me think of summertime in the Metro Detroit area. And yesterday felt like a pre to summertime. It was almost 70 degrees in February in Detroit, Michigan, right? Yeah, that was just a almost like a dream. It was a dream because today, baby, we are like 20 degrees. Okay, you imagine dropping that fast, 50 degrees, and it's gonna get colder overnight. It is crazy here. You wonder why people are suffering from sinus issues and stuff like that. It's because this weather is cray cray. I am your host of this fabulous show. I started just getting into rambling because I'm telling you that music hit me into space. I am your host, Sonia and Weaver, and thank you for joining Get to Know Bob, this amazing platform that we have been going strong on, sharing conversations with some amazing business owners, founders of nonprofits, musicians, authors, you name it. We have had them on the show. And like every other episode, I am excited about tonight's conversation, and you should be as well. Getting right into it so that we can get right into the conversation. We had a phenomenal weekend, or I should say, I had a phenomenal weekend, had a busy weekend, and hence the big hair, right? I have my big hair because I took the twist down with every intention of washing my hair. And because it got so busy, I hadn't had an opportunity to do so. So let me tell you a little bit about why I was busy. Linked has been truly blessed. But not only that, my phenomenal family, my brother and my sister in love, they have launched their nonprofit, Dreamers to Achievers. So give it up for them. This is breaking down the barriers and going against the odds for Down syndrome. Yes, and I am just so overjoyed and excited for them. Some of the I have a slide instead to show you about some of the things that went on this past weekend. So Dreamers to Achievers, we had linked in conjunction there. So people found out about the nonprofit. There's pictures of my nephew, and then there were pictures that is Mackenzie. She was present, and I can't forget the other young man right there who's coming up. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. Many people, they beat it in awareness for Down syndrome, and the colors are, if you can see, yellow and blue. So the bracelets were for women, yellow and blue. Men had their black with pops of yellow and pops of blue. That's Miss Mackenzie with her bracelet she made. And Carter with his shirt saying downright perfect on the front, and Carter 21 on the back. And so if you're not aware of Down syndrome, 21 is a special number because that's the extra chromosome. And that's why you'll see facial similarities and mannerisms and just some other genetic makeups with Down syndrome because they all have that extra chromosome. But some other things that were discussed was a lot of people get it confused or mixed with autism. So we're going to be having autistic awareness events coming up as well so that we can really just shed a light and understand some of these things. It was an awesome afternoon with a plethora of information and just overall fun and enjoyment. Be on the lookout for more events coming up for Dreamers to Achievers, some fundraisers, and a gala even later on this year. So we're excited for them. Keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers because it is a much needed organization. Now, I was on social media and I have very limited time on social media. And I came across a post that actually my niece shared, and it's in regards to a Bob here in the Livonia, Michigan area. She opened up a resale, high end resale store. And unfortunately, after opening up, she's been kind of struggling. So, sometimes when you don't have a brick and mortar, you're like off the chain moving fast and you have all this inventory. So, you decide to step out and get a bigger space. And that's exactly what she did, and it's been a slow start. So we're trying to flood her, guys, flood her with business. I want you to take a clip here for her business. Is in the local Livonia, Michigan area. And if you're traveling in this area, you may want to stop by.
It's not that I don't want you here. Yeah. It's not about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist you. We can get away. Palm trees, beach views, ordinary day. All I wanna hear is inhibitions on replay. Sit right next to you. Yeah. I try not to show how I.
So it's called Uptown Cheapskate, and it's in Livonia, Michigan. Those who are local here, it is on 7 Mile in Livonia. And yes, if you are in the area, or, make an effort maybe to go to the area, because we really want her to be successful in stepping out on faith within her business. Now, as we move on in tonight's show, let's get excited, because we are about, I should show you more information in case you want to take down the address. My apologies. I guess I'm trying to move so fast. For those who you're writing, or you those who are watching the replay, it is 29508 7 Mile Road in Livonia, Michigan. I forgot that they put that in the deck. See how I am? I want you just to kind of remember just on 7 Mile. But to give you more specific area, it is 29508 7 Mile Road in Livonia, Michigan. Uptown Cheapskate. And here's the other thing: earn cash for your clothes. See, I almost forgot. You can also buy some great, gently used upscale items, but you can also take your great, gently used items there and receive cash for your items once those items sell. So yes, we want to definitely support this Bob, who is stepping out on faith to recirculate clothing, and that helps the carbon footprint, guys, if you didn't really realize, versus having all these clothes going into landmines and all different things. It allows great recirculation of gently used items. Okay, so now let me get back on track. We are going to move in and have a phenomenal discussion this evening. But before we do so, I want to remind you, if you missed last week's episode, we had an amazing conversation about home ownership and all the phenomenal programs out there, all of the money that's out there for you as a new home owner, and what you can qualify for and what you can actually get. So if you missed it, make sure you go onto our YouTube channel and you take a search for our show from February the 21st, where we spoke with Kenneth Scott, who is a real estate broker at CSW Real Estate, and he's also like a president of the, I think, Greater Real Estate Alliance or something to that effect. I'm sorry, Ken, if I'm botching it up, but yeah, just go ahead to listen to that conversation, and you definitely will get information that you need in regards to home ownership. On tonight's show, I'm getting excited with the conversation we're about to have with the phenomenal Miss Monica Hamlet, or as you may know her as Mona Lisa. We're going to welcome Miss Mona to our show. How are you doing?
Hey, I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you for featuring me this evening. I appreciate you, lady.
Oh, and the feeling is mutual, as you know it is. And it has been just a little bit, tad bit of time since you have been here last.
Yep.
So for those who may not know you, I'm going to pass the baton over to you and allow for you to self-introduce, just to share with people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do.
Okay, so I am Mona Lisa. For almost 20 years, I owned a full service entertainment promotions company called Mona Lisa's Lyrics. I love the work that I was able to accomplish through that. And I've connected with so many wonderful business owners and entertainers and venue owners. It's just so many wonderful people that I've connected with over the almost 20 years that I've been in business. So, due to a car accident 5 years ago, though, I've had to slow down a lot. So, me having to slow down meant that I had to retire. So, I had to retire from doing active events. So, I had to go from, over the years doing, multiple events at one time per month, like, once a week or 2 different ones a week, and, just being active. And I really had to slow down over the years. But as you know, I would still show up at the events with my back brace on, with my neck brace on, with my arm brace on, anything I had to do to keep my business going. I was here for it, and I still am. But now that I'm retired, I am now really, really sitting still for a moment and allowing my body to heal the correct way. So,
Yes.
While we were doing events and all this, and, I had my vendors, the entertainers, the caterers, just all of it. I love being able to create, platforms for businesses to thrive and to grow. So now, I really had to think hard about how I was still going to live in what I love, right?
Right.
I had to stop because my body just would not continue on with the pace that I was going. So now, it's my life for me right now. Just today, it's a little weird because I'm not used to sitting still.
Right. Not only sitting still, just truly, like you said, almost 20 years, truly not doing the things that you've been accustomed to and enjoy doing the most. And hence, guys, the reason why tonight's show is navigating change and finding fulfillment, turning the tide. That was the precursor, turning the tide. How do you pivot when you have to or have been in and doing your business, doing something you love? And then I even pose questions. Maybe it started out as something you love, and then over time, you're not finding the same joy in it. There are so many different ways of looking at when we need to turn the tide and navigate that change to continue to find our fulfillment. Because as a business owner and an entrepreneur, you should really have fulfillment in what you do because your hands is on the steering wheel, right? Yes. You are really driving and navigating your course. Right. So I'm really excited about, where our conversation is going to go. And so before we get really deep into it, I want to remind you guys some of the things in which Mona said. So please visit our previous episodes. I mean, she is not a stranger here, but I didn't pull up all the time she's been here. I did do the last year. So she was here in 2023 twice. You can find her on February the 8th, where we had a conversation earlier in the year, and then around mid-year, June the 7th. So take those dates down so that you can hear some of the phenomenal things that Mona's hands is in that she's talking about and have a really connection to what we're going to be talking about this evening. Now, before we get into that, we are going to take a moment so that we can see what's going on here and around our Metro Detroit community. We'll be right back.
For an exciting journey. Youth ages 10 through 16 years old. Join BUF's Adventures in Literacy program. Enroll now and embark on a literacy experience like never before. Visit www.ufme.org.
Operation Refuge now enrolling kindergarten to 12th grade. All school districts welcomed. The After School Boost is a safe after-school program that provides students with educational enrichment with a boost of fun and structured activities after school in their community. Contact Barbara Green or email operationrefugeprograms@gmail.com.
Virtual office hours with financial strategist Crystal Gunn. Your daily dose of financial empowerment. A journey towards financial wisdom and small business mastery. Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. through 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Personal finance and small business strategies.
This Friday night decompression session hosted by Sonia M. Weaver and Jason Integrity. Come celebrate the wins, let go of the stress, vent, share, and encourage. Register on Alignable.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Well, we're back. Okay. So about this pivot.
Woo! First of all, tell Miss Gunn I love that photo of her.
Oh, okay. I
Beautiful.
will.
I love that photo of her, first off. But okay, go ahead.
Because here's the thing. I know you probably mentally was fighting against it. Even when you knew, because you need to recover. You will be like having a surgery, and then I kid you not, like a week later, we're like, what are you doing here? Like,
Yes, that is true. So there's something to be said about no one else being able to run your business the way you would, right? So being in business for so long, in my mind, when I would have the different procedures and surgeries and things like that, I would say to myself, okay, I'm going to go to the event, right? But I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to let, everybody else do. No. And I end up still running around, and I'm like, and then I'd be in a bed for a week, right? Because I could hardly move. And my body was like, what are you doing? So it took me, I'm going to tell you where it really, really, really hit me that, I'm not treating myself correctly, right? I'm not taking care of myself correctly. I'm going to tell you when it hit me. This past year with the Lions Club, hello, fellow Lions, including Miss Sonia. Hey, girl. Okay, so the last event that I did, volunteered with them, the Lions Club. At the end of it, I was in so much pain. And when I say I was in pain, I mean to the point where I was almost literally in tears while everybody was breaking the tables down and doing all this stuff. And I just was like, okay, and then Dr. Mary, but you don't know who's watching you, who knows what you're going through. You don't really know. Like I tell people, oh yeah, well, I'm hurt a little bit, but I'm gonna sit down tomorrow, So a couple days later, Dr. Mary called me and she said, you know what? I could tell that you were in severe pain at the end of this event. She said, listen. And then she started giving me different advice about, pain management, what to do, blah, blah, what works for her, this and that. And I thought to myself, okay, I think it's time for me to allow my body to heal, not just heal, but heal correctly.
right.
We know that so me sitting down for a week and then just hit the pavement on Monday, bro. So all the rest that I got the week before, my body was like, no, this rest is what you need to be doing. You don't need to be doing this other stuff.
Right.
So, just to be completely honest and transparent, it was devastating. It was a devastating decision to be forced to make. Music, entertainment, great food, vendors, small businesses, just the whole thing, right? That's those things. I was able to mesh all of my loves and passions into one great movement for so long. And then when, especially my doctors, and my surgeon was like, okay, all right, we just gonna have to stop this. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we all right. So, but I literally went through grieving because for almost 20 years that wasn't me. That was what I did. That was my life. That was my happy place. That's what I do, you know. And so for a while, like people tell me now, where have you been? I'm like sitting still. I've been sitting still. I've been just, in prayer and talking to the people that really know me and love me. I just been, talking here and there about it, like, okay, well, I was in a little bit of a, quicksand moment, which is what I call when your brain doesn't want to keep going, right? When your brain is like, we need to do this over here. But your brain is like, nope, I don't want to do that right now. So you just kind of stick, So for a moment I was in that. But it's not that now I'm disabled, right? So that's not really like the narrative that I want to give, because I mean, I'm able to take care of myself. I'm of sound mind, I can walk, I can talk. But I do have to get a handle on my own personal pain management regimen. So I got to get a hold of on that. And that's a journey. That's something you figure out tomorrow. Okay. It depends.
It'll take a moment,
right? The surgeon may tell you, let's do this. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a procedure done on my lower back. I have chronic lower back pain, and it's chronic. And when I just realized, though, I'm telling you, I just fully realized, though, that all right, my back pain is not going away. Okay, I have chronic lower back pain. Okay, Mona. Okay. We're gonna have to address this. Right? Okay. So it's more than going to the market, going to the mall, taking care of my son, running around with him, and being in so much pain till I have to come and just sit on the couch, turn the heating pad on, take my meds, and just, it's more than that. It's more than that, right? So, I got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to listen. I need to listen to my body. I need to listen to, the experts. I need to listen to my big brother, who said, sit down. If he tells me down, my God, sit down. You just please.
Doing too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. This is what I wrote down, and I can kind of understand it. Don't get me wrong. I wrote this down. What does it look like? Because this is what I got. When your identity is tied into what you do, it's who you are.
Yeah.
And so you were doing what you loved, but your identity and how you saw yourself here began to be intertwined, so much so that your identity for you was tied deeply into what you did.
Yes.
Versus who you are. Yes. And the reason why I know it, because you said you had to go through grieving.
Yep. It was a loss, a major loss. Yes. A major loss.
Part of you died. Yes. Part of you died. And it took you a long time before you were willing to bury that part of you.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And I will say, I recommend to anyone that goes through a major life change, I recommend that you seek help, I recommend that you get a therapist. Okay.
I do too.
Yeah, you have to. And the reason why you have to is because I'm a business owner, right? So I'm so used to being in control. I'm in control. This is my life. This is what I do. I was full time in this, right? So this is what I do. This is my life. This is my life. So when you lose a big part of your life, whether it's a business or a loved one, whether it's your partner, any kind of major loss is to grieve. You may not realize that you're grieving though. Like, how many people have come up to you and said, girl, I had to close my business and I'm really grieving over it? No, I've never heard anybody come to me and say, I had to close my business.
Grieving.
So now I'm grieving as if it was a wooden coffin and we had to put it in the ground and bury it, right? So
you do though, but that's what it
that's
is.
exactly
Because you
what
don't
happened.
physically go to the business closing graveyard. It still happens to you mentally, emotionally, and you're tied to it. And I went through the same thing even with corporate America, because I was in that position from graduating from college to almost 28 years. That was me. So how I saw myself was intertwined with that job, and to go through the process and to, towards the end, it be what do they call a marriage when it's not, an abusive relationship? because it became very one-sided, where you just doing this and do it and do it and do it, and I'm just trying to perform better and next thing you know, it became a very toxic relationship. And so, but you still grieve it nonetheless, and you recognize all these different things that you go through. So yes. Therapy is huge. You have to.
Therapy is needed. And I thank my therapist all the time because, she is a professional at listening and then being able to give the correct advice for you, but in little bits, right? So a trained therapist doesn't just bombard you with all the information that you're going to need through the process you're going through. It's bits and pieces. That's why you have to go every 2 weeks.
That's why you have to go consistently,
but
right?
So
what really happens for me is that I really talk through it myself.
Yeah.
And so it's really carving out that dedicated time for you, for me, for yourself, because we don't do that. We're so busy in the world, busy doing this, busy doing that we'll brush over how we're feeling. This intentionally carves out time for you to talk about you and how you're feeling. And so bits of it just come out and allow really you a self-discovery of understanding you and what's going on. Now, that's a good place to pause before we go into our local events, and we'll be right back after our break.
Messiah Council of Dads welcomes the award-winning Luther Badman Keith. Sunday, March 3rd from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. 231 East Grand Boulevard at Lafayette. Come enjoy an afternoon of blues, funk, and soul. This is a free March Dadness event.
Presented by Stackwell, Money Talks, a fireside chat with Gail Perry Mason, founder of Money Matters. Sunday, March 10th at 3 p.m. at the Henry Ford Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Register today.
Save the date. Tranquility Christian Counseling Beyond Broken. Loss Support Group. Friday, March 15th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 24100 Southfield Road, Suite 320H, Southfield, Michigan. More information regarding registration to come.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, do a search for Deals with Bob, and click the subscribe button.
Okay, so we're back. And before we continue, we left off of the importance of therapy. I want to make sure that this comes up because it was in our slide deck, and I want people to know. Mona was Link's first boss babe. And babe means being an amazing blessing every day. And if you listened to what she was saying, she definitely is and continues to be a blessing to so many people. Her desires for her in her business was really supporting other people, and then therefore blessing them, connecting people to resources, giving them opportunities to vend. All of this stuff was being a blessing to them, and it blessed her in return. So it made sense. But when I got this into the slide deck, I was like, oh my God, that was 2021?
Wow.
Wow.
I'm so honored to have been featured for that. I'm so honored. And, you know, working with people like you and Cassandra, I mean, working with people who have the same drive that I have, right? To help others, to build business together, to uplift the community. It's such a blessing to be recognized and to be featured. And I just want to thank you guys for even thinking that, you know, or deciding that I'd be a good representation of that. So that event is near and dear to my heart. And, you know, I'll tell you, it's just, you know how Facebook brings up like memories.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is killing me because it keeps bringing up memories. It keeps bringing up memories of past events. And
we're about to kill you right now. Like, here you go. Here you go.
I'm like, Lord. Oh no! Oh my God!
Because we couldn't talk about where you're going without knowing where you've been.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the thing is, so we're talking about, okay, the loss of my business outlined in a way that I had it outlined for so long, right? So, you know, instead of me being at the helm all the time of the events, like from beginning to end, planning them, coordinating them, you know, hiring everybody and just doing the whole thing, I'm still able to help others by being a consultant. So I've been asked to be, you know, a consultant with a young lady who wants to get into the, you know, the event planning arena. And my family is actually getting into, one of my brothers is like, he's getting into travel and having stuff and, you know, having events on cruise ships and things like that. So I'll be able to refer people that have worked with me over the last, you know, 17, 18 years. I'll be able to refer them to my brother and he can, you know, so there's still a way, right? When you pivot. So that's what you call pivoting, right?
Right.
So even though I'm not the one that's going to be under or like directly linked to coordinating or creating the events, I'm still going to be able to help others build their businesses and still provide them with those platforms, you know, to perform and to sell their goods. And now it's going to be international because, you know, we're going to be doing that on cruise ships. And so now it's more of Mona Lisa volunteering what she knows, right? Now I'm just like volunteering and helping people, and I'm just like, what you need, okay? What you need, you know. So I'm still going to be able to live in my passion for helping others, and I'm still going to be able to frequent the different events that, you know, people that have supported me for so long. I now have time to go and, you know,
and enjoy them,
support them at their events and
maybe enjoy
events. Okay, so that's a big point, isn't it? So enjoy it, sit down. I'm not running around trying to figure out, okay, I can actually sit and watch and enjoy it. Yes, you're absolutely right. So it's good, right? It's good.
Right.
It's a transition. It's a big change for me. but
for those who haven't seen the previous episodes, we did put up some of the phenomenal events that Mona has done. She had some just like networking events, and at the networking events, you have phenomenal vendors, you have live entertainment, great food, wonderful hosts. Then she has spa. She believes in women taking a moment to pamper themselves. And so she put on events about spa days and taking care of yourself and having the at establishments as well, where you're supporting business owners and their establishments. And of course, that mom and dadpreneur, recognizing the hard work that these unsung business owners don't always get recognized for, and giving them their flowers while they're on this side of heaven and working their business and recognizing them. I mean, as you can see, all of these phenomenal events that she has done and has been a part of, and really from start to finish, you can see why, one, she was Link's boss babe, but two, why she really made a footprint in an area where it was needed, and why it probably was very difficult to bury those endeavors. But it's good to hear.
Thank you so much, though. You're so encouraging, Sonia. You really are. And I appreciate your support. I always have. And I'm so glad that you and I met, and that we, will continue to do and build together, So now just my focus is really like being able to get the word out about the so many small business owners that have supported me for so long. And so that's mainly what my thought process is now. I'm like, okay, so like, let me just shout out somebody, and she just brought tears to my eyes. Terry of Loving Touch. I'm not sure if you remember her, but she was a fairly new vendor, and she has a skincare line. Is body butters and hair oil.
The last event.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So it's called Loving Touch. So the other day, she, out of the blue, she called me and said, you know what? You were on my mind. God put it on my heart to call you. And then we talked about what was going on with me now. And she said, I knew it was a reason. I knew it was a reason why God said, give you a call. And she prayed with me. And I was like, what's happening? You know what I mean? Because I'm so used to being that person that calls everybody else. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do an event and you're, feature you. And I'm going to do this for you. And then so when she called me, I was like, what? But she's awesome. Like, she's a very, very wonderful person. Look her up, y'all. Loving Touch. Okay. She's very good. Her products are phenomenal, and she's in the midst of an expansion. And so, I mean, what a blessing for me to be able to take her products, right? To have her featured, on my brother's trips, and have her in Jamaica with her products, and have her in, England with her. This is what I'm saying. This is what brings me joy. I just had to let go of the control of it.
Yeah, which is also a little bit difficult to do as well. I can only imagine.
So when I did your 50th birthday party, what did I have to keep telling you, Sonia? That's why you have me, Sonia. Okay, let me do that, Sonia. I was like, Sonia, what? Okay. All right. But you hired me, Sonia, so I will do this for you. Why are you doing it? And this, yeah.
I'm a work in progress. And as we take a pause there, I want you to start thinking about elaborating on what is currently going on and how everything looks for you, or how you're structuring everything to look for you now. And we'll be right back.
Financial Literacy Workshop. Thursday, February 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Are you prepared? How to begin? You have enough. Identifying, understanding, and protecting the most valuable asset, you. Eastside Church of Christ, 149 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Pontiac, Michigan. RSVP via Eventbrite.
Pathways to Home Ownership, a free home buying seminar. Thursday, February 29th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Adams Butzel Rec Center, 10,500 Linden. Facilitator Kenneth L. Scott, CSW Real Estate. Are you ready to buy a home? Learn what you need to make it happen.
Encourage Me I'm Young, Inc. 11th Annual Community All-You-Can-Eat Pancake Breakfast. Saturday, March 2nd from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Rosedale Baptist Church 14179 Evergreen Road, Detroit, Michigan. $20 per ticket. Collaborative partners will share information you can use.
MSC Mortgage and Credit Ready Clinic, presented by United Community Solutions. March 4th and March 16th. Cost is $45. This virtual clinic will be facilitated by Crystal L. Gunn, financial strategist. Only 12 spots per clinic available. Register today.
Link wants you to save the date. National Women's Month, a celebration of women, Saturday, March 16th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. More information coming soon.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Okay, so we're back.
So I'll be there March 16th.
Okay.
Good. I look forward to it.
Yes, it's going to be amazing as we celebrate women, and we love this time of the year where we get to celebrate just how phenomenal we are and all of the different things we're doing and hear the stories, testimonies, and all that. And I guess I could put it out there because the official thing is going to note it. The affirmation charms will be available again at that event.
Oh, awesome.
So, okay. People can have that. If you missed it at the beginning of the year, you can do your affirmation charm bracelet at that event. So yeah, we're excited about it and glad that you'll be there. Bring a couple friends.
I will. Miss J, that's my ride or die. Miss J, my cousin. Hey Jay.
Hey Jay.
I'll make sure we are, there in support. Yeah.
Now, one thing before we go on, as far as you sharing with us what your current focus and blueprint for your business now is, because we're talking again, turning the tide, navigating change, and still finding fulfillment in what you do. I wrote down when you mentioned chronic pain, and I said, here's my question. I wrote chronic pain equals mental stress. Would you say that there's an equation or equivalent towards that? If you're in chronic pain, that's like daily ongoing pain. Does it do anything to your mental as far as like how you feel each day, feeling optimistic, feeling, all these different things? Does it change in any way?
So for me, I had to, about a year ago, I had to start saying to people, I honestly don't know how I'm going to feel until I wake up. I cannot commit to coming out to your event that far ahead because I have no idea, if my body is going to let me do that day. And, it's mental until you come to grips with it, right? So the accident happened in May of 2019. I was hit from behind by a semi-truck when I was sitting at a red light. Mm-hmm. So from that day on, my whole life changed. I was so used to having a 9-to-5 and running my business and singing with bands and doing this, and I was doing a lot, and all of a sudden, I got into the accident, and my whole life as I knew it ended that day, really. So I could no longer be a bus driver. Okay. So I've already went through that grieving process because I was a bus driver for almost 18 years. Right. So being a bus driver and running my business. Okay. That's what I did that, so I had to let go of the anchor. And I feel like, a 9-to-5, when you're a business owner, a 9-to-5 is an anchor. That's what's keeping you kind of like, I have to still do this over here because it's funding my business. But mentally, so I had to let go of that. That was hard. But I had my business to fall back on, right? So I just 100% threw myself into business, and that's what helped me to survive, you know, the loss of my independence. Really, I mean, when you have a 9 to 5 and you control the money that you're making, right? So then when that's taken away from you, and you then have to rearrange your thoughts, your life, your family. I have a son, right? So how, you know, why am I going to take care of him? And it was such a strong change for me. And I did not start realizing that like truly pain is going to be a big part of my life until maybe 2 years ago. And and it's been 5 years, right? From the accident, it's been 5 years. I've had many surgeries. I've had many procedures. I've gone through the ringer, but still, those first 3 years, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life, right? That wasn't. Right. So when it finally hit me, oh, when I wake up, my back is hurting. Okay, when I go to the market, my back is hurt. Okay. Right. When I'm doing this event, my back is hurting. And my back. I said, wait a minute. So it didn't. So it was a process for me. And I said, oh, this is chronic pain. This pain ain't going nowhere. Okay. And then I had to just, you know, start asking my doctor different questions, my surgeon, different questions like, all right, you've done this, you've done injections, you've done this, pain blocks, pain pump, we've done all that. And, you know, he was like, there's always something, Miss Hamblett. We're not going to give up. There's always something. But in my mind, you know, it was hard. It was hard to believe that a single mom who didn't ask to be this strong, right? Let's go into that. I never asked to have to be a strong, independent business owner, single mommy. That wasn't what I asked for, right? I didn't ask him, oh, you know, I wasn't 10 years old and said, oh God, when I'm 50, I want to be single, a single mama, you know, in chronic pain, but I want to force through. No, nobody asked. Right. I didn't ask for that. You know, and I think that's kind of funny. I'm gonna go sideways a little bit. How men say, you know, women are so strong now, and you know, they don't know how to be submissive and this and that. Well, we're forced to be strong. We didn't ask to be strong. I never woke up and said, God, I want to be strong as steel when it comes to this and this. I didn't ask that. Right. Okay. So the strength, though, of going through what I have in my personal life, in my business life, having people take me seriously in entertainment business took a long time. Fought for that, you know, and then to realize that Superwoman, okay, you have to take that cape off. Take it off. So you can continue enjoying your world, right? So my world has changed. But it's time for me to take care of me and truly not just go get a massage, not just soak in a tub. And, you know, no, my life now revolves around my healing and my pain management regimen so I can function fully in my world. So that's where I am now. And let me say this, and this is not in any way dismissing what you've gone through. Because the thing is, when people experience stuff, it's their shared wisdom. So it doesn't always come with age. It can come with experience, right? When you experience something. So what I was hearing is when we're younger, for some reason, we take on the Superwoman cape. And it's like fluffing getting behind us, you know, like a cape does. Woo! But as we get older, somehow that cape gets heavy. And we trying to keep it on because we've gotten used to just doing it all, but it becomes heavy. And in the process, we become ill. And it could be health, it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be whatever, because we're carrying this heavy cape that we wasn't supposed to keep on for forever, 24/7. Right.
So we don't want that cape to turn into the blanket that they put on top of the coffin, because you
Yes.
allowed yourself to die from trying to do it all.
You are exactly right. You are so right, Sonia. That analogy, that example was key. It was dead on, because let me tell you, being a strong Black woman, right, is a badge of honor for us. Being a strong Black woman, okay, because when we're born, we're looked down upon. We're the world doesn't see us as valuable until we force them to.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that says that's not true, well, then you're not a Black woman. We are forced to make the world respect who we are, what we do, what's going on, And now, like I said, I was so blessed to have the opportunity to mesh all of my loves into one movement, with the music and the great food and the, helping out just in small businesses with vendors and doing different things for the community and highlighting moms and dads. And, I was so blessed to be able to do that. So since, my company is now closed out of necessity, I had to. So it was a necessity for me to stop. So now my focus is to support others. That was the foundation of what I've been doing over the last 18 years anyway.
Right. And before you go into details, because that's the next segment, and actually we're about 7 minutes out, I am going to ask what that looks like when we come back. Think about explaining to the people, what does that next future business vision look like that you'll be doing, and then wrapping it up for some of our other traditional questions we normally ask. So we'll be right back.
Repair Workshop, build, repair, strengthen your credit. Tuesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. Guest panelists Crystal Gunn, Reginald Gilson, Brooke Ratliff. Register today.
Thompson Business Services, turn your dreams to reality. Grant Writing 101. Saturday, March 30th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Techtown, Detroit, 440 Borough Street, Detroit, Michigan.
The National Association of Real Estate Brokers, in partnership with the Church of God in Christ, presents 100 City Community Impact Day. Saturday, April 13th. Free services and classes for the community.
Let us support you and your event by adding it to our programming. Visit www.dealswithbob.com and contact us today.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube and search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Okay, we're back for our last segment of the show. That was a fast hour.
It was.
So, Mona, this has been very inspiring to a lot of people, because again, they may not have suffered something physically that is, actually their body saying, look, you got to stop, or we're going to lock up, all this other stuff is going to get worse. But there are people who are in a position where they feel like they're dying right now. They feel like something has died in their business, the joy is gone or whatever it might be. And they really need to navigate a change in order to find that fulfillment. And thank you for being so transparent to show that it is possible. So now that you have began and have made a pivot, what does your newfound vision look like?
Well, as I mentioned, the Lions Club, Dr. Mary, the president of the Sterling Heights Lions Club, she's allowing me to, little by little, kind of incorporate the things I love doing, but in a different way, through volunteer work, right? So, I'd love to still highlight and gift moms and dads that own businesses that work so hard in the communities. I still want to be able to gift them with the products from the small businesses in our communities, because it's a win-win, right? Everybody's benefiting from those connections. So I'm working with the Lions Club on that. Being able to volunteer when I can is such a blessing, but being able to have a worldwide reach through the Lions Club and bringing people together through volunteering is very important to me. So that's that. So, and then to, the family business, my brother getting into travel. And that kind of helps me because I'm not going to be doing that, right? I wanted to do that, but I won't be doing that. And so my brother is kind of taking one of my younger brothers is kind of taking a helm with that. So I'll be able to here again, help him with some things and build his business. So I look forward to that. But personally, for years, I had gotten away from performing. I got into the entertainment business through singing and writing and, recording albums. And that's how I came into this whole realm. So I have asked one of my dear friends, who's a great musician, to teach me how to play the acoustic guitar, because that's something I've always wanted to learn. And I'm getting back to my roots of entertaining, me singing. So I'm happy that I've made that decision, because music has saved my life millions of times, through my life. Music has always been there. And I'm getting back to what I truly love organically, which is singing and feeling the music and performing with bands and things like that. But sparingly, because I still am trying to take the time needed to heal correctly.
Glad you added that back in. And I want to give a shout out to some of the people who watched us throughout this show. Thank you, Tim, for being a part of the conversation. He said, Mona playing the guitar, excellent. We have Miss V on my side making a comment about old women or something to that effect. Or yes, I feel like, we're mature women and our bodies feeling old.
Mature. And yeah, I am 50 and I'm proud of it. Many people didn't make it to this age, and I don't care how my knees or my back feel. I'm loving this life.
Exactly. Now you said something that was key, and I am going to actually incorporate this question this coming weekend. In your words, self-care versus self-maintenance. How do you see them as different?
You know what? When people say, just to me, when people say self-care, to me, that's outward. So to me, that's, getting pampered, maybe getting your hair and nails done, getting a massage, facials and all that, which is needed too. You need to feel good on the outside as well as inside. So, but taking a step back from the busy pace of life, and actually allowing your mind to heal, your soul to heal, forgiving yourself for past, past mistakes you may have made, healing from the things that weigh heavy on your mind. To me, that's outside of the realm of self-care, because that's internal. That's more like, I have to work on myself. Okay, self-maintenance to me is maintaining good health, and that's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So self-care is beautiful, but we do need to maintain it. It's not just a spa day. This is a lifelong adventure, right? It's not just a spa day.
Yeah. Exactly. What book is currently on your nightstand, or that you've recently read or would highly recommend reading?
Okay, so I'm a little different. I am now in the process of documentaries about health and healing. Okay. So I'm not particularly reading a book, but I'm researching different ways to increase strength in certain parts of my body. I'm kind of like looking up, how to do as much good, as much repair on my own, not just leave it to my doctors and my surgeon. But right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of like researching, and it may come in a form of a book later on. But right now, I'm just doing like documentaries and doing my research. online, because that's where my journey is right now. So not particularly a book, but I am, feeding my mind with some good stuff.
Gotcha. Now, so I typically don't do this, but since you didn't share a book, and I'm just feeling compelled because I just started one that really has hit me from the first page. It is called, and I don't know the author, and the book is not around me. It's called Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table.
Oh, wow. I've heard of that book, actually.
Yeah. It's good. It's good so far. I'm enjoying
I'm gonna have
it.
to check that out. Okay.
Yeah. Good reminder of some things. Good reminder. It's a mental reminder of how you be mentally thinking about the negative and stuff, and in doing so, you're creating this opportunity for the enemy to take a seat at your table. So yes. I enjoying it thus far. Any closing remarks before we end our conversation this evening?
I would just like to again thank you for featuring me. I love your platform. I love the way you outline your show. It's so beautiful. You support so many businesses every week, and we love you for doing that. You've created a safe space for business owners and people who do great things in the community to come and to be transparent. This is a safe space to tell your truth and what you do and why you do it, and what hurdles you had to get jump over in order for you to continue living your passion. So thank you for that. And hopefully everyone who took the time out to listen to this episode, I just hope they take away from it that your life today may change, but it doesn't have to be a negative unless you let it be a negative. We need to reinvent ourselves many, many, many times in life. And if you need to stop and take a mental assessment, physical assessment, emotional assessment of what you're going through, then stop unapologetically and do that. Don't apologize for being human ever. Take the time you need to for you to be happy in your world. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to be happy in your world. So do the work and don't apologize for it.
I love that. Don't apologize. And that's a good way to start winding out. I want to give a special thanks to our additional core businesses who support us. That is the Amazing Woman Network, Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, Tax Divas, which we are in full swing of tax season right now. If you don't have a preparer, then you want to reach out to Tax Divas, and they are also an enroll agent. And then Bright Tech Communications, we want to thank you. If you haven't already done so, you've had a few reminders throughout the show to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So make sure you go right over to YouTube, do a search for Deals with Bob, and click that subscribe button. While you're there, I encourage you to hit the notification bell so that you are notified every single time in the future when we go live. Mona, I just want to thank you again for just being here this evening. I appreciate your kind words, and the feeling is mutual. I enjoy our conversations every time we get an opportunity, and even off-site conversations tend to go on because they are just so engaging. It's like a kindred spirit. So thank you again for being here, and you are always in my prayers, and I know this new chapter in your life is going to be just as fulfilling and rewarding because you've taken the time to just think about what would give you that fulfillment here at this time.
I love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again for having me, and thank you for being you. I mean, you and your mom, you guys are such blessings in this world. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to all of you who have tuned in on our live or who are watching on the replay. We thank you for your support. Make sure you share what we're doing so that we can continue to grow and make impact to others. As always, I am Sonia Weaver. I encourage you to spend with purpose because your dollar does matter, and deal with Bob. Have an amazing night. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.